Welcome to day 15 of Vlogmas. I am halfway through posting 25 days in a row and I'm actually so surprised at myself. Not only is this my first time doing Vlogmas, this is my first time posting this many videos consecutively. And I feel like I've learned so much about myself, about my content, and about creating in general, posting yourself and your ideas online. There's just so much insight that I've gotten over these now 15 days, and I want to share it with you. Jumping right in, the first thing that I learned posting this many days in a row is that it was never that serious. In the beginning of this year, it was a goal of mine to post a YouTube video once a week. And I've made a few videos since then. You can go back on my channel and see that at some points I was consistent and at other points I wasn't, and I mostly wasn't. I even made a video saying how I'm gonna take myself seriously and we need to lock in and we got to do all this and I'm gonna be consistent and yeah, just a bunch of talk basically. And of course I had all the intentions of posting once a week. I had all of the motivation to post once a week, but I've learned that yes, intention, motivation matters, but it doesn't quite do enough. After posting 15 days in a row, I really started to wonder, why was it so hard for me to post once a week? If I can film and edit or even have a video ready for the next day over and over again, what was it that was stopping me from posting one video a week? And I'm just thinking back to the mindset that I had of like overthinking what I was posting, thinking that I had to come off a certain way or I had to plan out the video because another YouTuber does it this way, or I have to make sure all the shots are right. Just all these different things that I know because I didn't post, I know was allowing me to not stick to the schedule that I made. A lot of times as creators, artists, whatever you want to call it, we think that it has to be the best work we've ever done. And we have to make sure we come off a certain way and we have to present ourselves a certain way. And what that really does is hold us back from what we learn from actively creating. I have been reading The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. Is that right? This book is basically about how we should reframe our minds to think about creating art, to think about putting ideas into the real world. And instead of looking at it as this is the one piece of content that is going to define me and my brand, we should be looking at it as building a catalog, which leads me into my next point. My next lesson that I've learned is that we need to be building our catalog. First of all, I have to say this. Thank you to everyone who's been commenting and motivating me and cheering me on and telling me to keep going and saying that, watching me do this Vlogmas challenge basically is inspiring, because y'all, on the days that I really don't feel like posting or talking to the camera or just like I can't keep up, I think about those comments, and that, along with the grace of God, is single-handedly keeping me doing this. And it's been so rewarding each time when you just want to give up, or maybe you feel like, oh my gosh, this video sucks. Let me talk about me. There are at least 3 videos I've posted during Vlogmas that I feel like me a few months ago would never. Like, it's boring. Nobody cares. Nobody's watching this. This isn't, very representative of my brain and like the ideas that I have, but that's not the point all the time. Every time I overcome that feeling of inadequacy and just feeling like, okay, this is not good enough, and I still post anyway, I feel 10 times better than if I would have not posted every day like I've been trying to do. Not only does building your catalog help you overcome that feeling, but it has shown me that people really are watching, people really are listening, and people want to get to know you. Not every single piece of content is meant to go viral, is meant to help you gain a whole bunch of subscribers or followers. Some content is meant to nurture the audience that you're building. There are videos that I've made in the past that some of you have probably seen. And so when I talk about my life or things that I have going on, and you have already seen those videos, it's like we're just continuing a conversation that we already had, or it's like you're talking to a friend because you already know some things about them and you're just adding on to the story. And sometimes we can trick ourselves into thinking that we have to write a new story every time. And when new people discover you and they see a video that they really liked, what can they do? They can go back and look at your old videos and get to know you and get to know your personality and your content style. They can even see how you've evolved over time. And if you have one video or no videos on your channel and you know that you've been wanting to post, let's say someone finds that one video, but they have nothing else to watch. They have nothing else to get to know you from because you're overthinking everything that you do want to post. And going back to my first point, which is it's not that serious, I also want to add that the more that I've been posting and just talking to the camera and getting used to talking to the camera, because it is something that you get used to, I'm overanalyzing myself more than other people are overanalyzing me or analyzing me at all. And every time I hit upload or I hit post, I'm thinking like, oh, like it was not that big of a deal because now I'm moving on to the next thing, which leads me into my next lesson, detach from the content. This is such an interesting concept, but I think it's done the most help in keeping me through this challenge, which is understanding, like I said before, that this piece of content that you're going to put out does not define you as a whole, as a creator. And I will make a vlog or make a video, and some of them I love. Like my New York vlog, I loved that vlog. There's a vlog of me going grocery shopping. That vlog is, it's whatever to me. It was just something to post. By the time I edited those vlogs and posted, I was already thinking about the next vlog. I'm already moving on to the next thing, because if we start attaching so much to every single piece of content, when it gets no views or it gets little views, if it gets no likes or little likes, it doesn't perform as well as we want it to or as we thought it would. Now that's going to start affecting how you see yourself and your content and your hard work. Like if I were to put so much care into every single Vlogmas episode, I did a story time, it got like 100 and something views. If I were to have so much real estate in that video, I feel horrible about myself and I probably wouldn't have kept going. So when I say detach from the content, you need to understand that this is the idea that you had now, getting it out the best of your ability, and you're moving on to the next one. And of course, there are certain things, like some of my favorite creators, they don't post once a week. They post whenever they're ready to have a video. For example, Life of Riza, if you've never heard of her or watched her, highly recommend you go search her. After you're done watching this though, of course. She doesn't post once a week. I don't even think she has a schedule. But you can see the effort and just the cinematography and the artistry that she puts into her videos. Then you can argue and say she has more resources and all these things. That's neither here nor there. My point is that there are going to be times where your videos will need more time. But I think if you're starting from the beginning or you're starting small and you struggle with putting your ideas out into the world, your focus should be consistency. I realized during this Vlogmas challenge that I've been doing consistency all wrong. To me, consistency is no longer posting at a certain frequency and a certain output. It's not about the amount of output, but about the output, period. So you don't need to post the best video you've ever made every Wednesday at 8 o'clock and it needs to be 30 minutes long. You just need to post something. That's consistency, adding and building every time. And that's something that this book, The Creative Act, talks about, where it's like, it's the act of creating that matters more than what you're actually creating sometimes, especially starting out, especially when you're trying to get over fear or overthinking, whatever struggle you're having as a creative person. Building and building video by video, photo by photo, whatever it is that you do, painting by painting, matters a lot more. I may not have put out a video that went viral and gained me a bunch of subscribers and changed my life. But what I have been doing is building a catalog, getting used to posting and moving on to the next ideas, not letting ideas just sit and rot in my notebooks that I have. And that's only one of them, by the way. Not allowing myself to focus on the numbers and the analytics for too long, and understanding that there's an audience that are listening to me. One of my Post-it notes just fell off my wall. Understanding that there's an audience who's actually listening to me. And I talked about this in one of my Vlogmas episodes, seeing people comment and saying thank you for my videos, or just responding to something I may have said in my videos. It really does help me realize that I'm not talking to a camera. Like, obviously I'm talking to a camera, but I'm talking to people. You're talking to people. You have an audience, whether that audience be big or small. And I feel like a lot of people say this where they're like, oh, imagine if, let's say your video got 100 views, and people will say, oh, imagine if you had 100 people in a room with you. That's a lot. And although so many people say this, it's true. I think I have like 2,200 subscribers or something. I don't know. Imagine if 2,200 people were all in a room and they were like, yeah, we want to follow along with your journey. That's insane. I'd actually be a little overwhelmed. It's not 100K, it's not a million, but it's still a lot. So whether that number for you is 50 or 100 or 500, that's still a lot of people. And I think another thing that I've learned posting and interacting with people who are interacting with my content is that I've started to get better at viewing this talking to a camera as talking to people and not a camera, as I just said. But it's more like sometimes when I would sit in front of the camera, like in the beginning of the year, for example, it would be a lot of pressure I'm feeling to just perform or say the right things or to whatever the standard that we think needs to be. And just doing this every day, talking to the camera every day, talking to people every day, and understanding that I'm talking to people has helped me to get a little bit better at talking. Whether you're doing Vlogmas or maybe you just create a posting challenge for yourself. It could be like in March. It doesn't have to be in December. It could be at any time and you say, hey, I'm going to post 20 days in a row. I'm going to post 10 days, 30 days in a row. Yes, analytically, like I've gotten more subscribers. I've gotten more watch time. I'm a little less than halfway to monetization, but I'm way further than I was before I did Vlogmas. And not only are you going to see those analytic improvements, but the improvement in yourself as a creator is insane. And even though I'm not done yet with Vlogmas, I do kind of want to update you guys on how I feel at the end, because I think I've felt a lot more inspired than I have in a long time. Sometimes creating content, especially vlogging, especially every day, can burn you out. And I think how I've avoided burnout is understanding that feeling burnout or tired or like, oh, I don't want to do this today is normal. I have that feeling with the gym. I have that feeling with cleaning my room, with doing laundry. Don't beat yourself up because you don't feel like it. But what are you doing to combat that feeling? Are you just going to give up on this dream, on this passion that you said you had? I don't like forcing myself to film or to create things when I don't have the idea or when I don't have the motivation to implement an idea. But even with these past few episodes of Vlogmas, where I'm just in the car talking or eating, even just allowing myself to say, you know what, I don't really want to sit here and make up a really cool video idea, but I'm just going to take them with me grocery shopping or to go get food or to go to ballet. And as I'm talking to the camera, as I'm talking to you guys, I start to feel better. Like, oh, it's not that serious. Like all these points start to come back to each other. I don't want to keep you guys too long, but that's really all I had to share. I just wanted to tell you guys that it's actually true. Coming from someone who doesn't have a huge following, who isn't even monetized on this channel, who has been doing YouTube for a really long time, on and off, but since I was a teenager. And that's because it's something that's really fun to me. I love editing. I love talking. I love camera stuff. It's fun. I love just making ideas come to life. I told you guys in yesterday's vlog that I'm also doing a posting marathon on my ASMR channel. And so today has just been taking it easy, which is why, as you can see, the sun is setting. I was editing today for my other channel and kind of, like I said, taking it easy. I watched church. I watched 2 episodes of anime, and I didn't really force myself to have maximum output, but to have output, period. Simplify the goal. Simplify where you're putting the goalpost at. Just create. The act of creating is what we want to get better at.
Who would have thought that Christmas